We have Muslims being killed. We have humans who are being slaughtered, genocided, ongoing. And we're not talking about stopping genocide from happening. We're talking about bugs. Welcome to the Muslim Principal Podcast again. I'm one of the hosts, the Muslim Principal, Mr. Rasul, and we have...
I'm co-host Saif.
All right, welcome to the show.
So, from last episode, the question from our co-host Ismail, who's mysteriously disappeared. How do you kill a bug in the Islamic way?
How do you kill a bug the Islamic way? You know what? That question bugs me. All right? We have Muslims being killed. We have humans who are being slaughtered, genocided, ongoing. And we're not talking about stopping genocide from happening. We're talking about bugs. That really bugs me. You know, that's being nitpicky about little things, man. We're not supposed to be living with bugs. Our homes are supposed to be clean, proper, tidy. So get rid of the bugs, whatever way you need to get rid of it, but don't be mean to it. Don't burn it. There's a hadith not to do that. But this question itself, again, shows we got bigger issues and we're talking about little things. So let's talk about bigger things, Brother Saif, today. Let's go. Right here.
Our co-host Ismail, when you watch this, that was your answer. I know you waited a while for that one.
All right.
Cool. Let's get into it. How's your week, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, week is good. Off from school, supposed to take complete time off, disconnect, and just, spend some time with the family. Alhamdulillah, got to go fishing yesterday.
Really disconnected.
Yeah, really disconnected, but we didn't catch any fish. I think some fish might have caught us, but we didn't catch any fish.
Next time, inshallah, right?
Inshallah. So yeah, alhamdulillah, it's good to have you back safe. And by the way, alhamdulillah, depends on which week. Sometimes I'll have Saif, sometimes I'll have Ismail, sometimes I'll have another guest. Opportunity for different youth to ask their questions and for us to have a discussion, inshallah. So, what's going on? What do you want to talk about today?
I think we have a lot of hot topics. But
hot topics. Everybody likes hot topics.
Have you? Don't we all? Have you watched the Olympics?
I keep up with it a little bit, but I don't have time. But a little bit to kind of see what's going on, how Canada's doing. I do cheer for Canada since Iraq is not in the Olympics. So, yeah, I cheer for Canada to have more medals.
Do you know where I'm going with this? Miss Iman Khalif.
Iman Khalif. Is that the boxer lady?
The Algerian boxer.
Yes. Yeah. So, what do you want to ask about that?
I think you're gonna tell the audience who she is. Imam Khalif, or I'll go with that, is an Algerian boxer, and the controversy behind her is she a transgender woman or an agent from Algeria to win the Olympics?
Right.
Or is she just a woman with higher testosterone?
Yeah, to be honest, so the first time I heard about this, I was like, man, what the heck is going on? I really thought she was a transgender lady. I thought, this is messed up. And I thought, hey, this is just where inevitably it seems we're heading that way with the way transgender games have been going on and the gender identity. And if you feel you're a woman, then you can go and beat up women, apparently. But I realized, hold on a second, man, with this whole hype going on, she's actually a woman. Iman is not a man.
Do you think the media portrayed it in a way where they shifted the narrative?
Yes, I think because I'm gonna blame race here as well. There was a white Italian girl who got punched once, and she gave up and says, she'd never been punched like that in her career. She started crying, made a big deal. And khalas, everybody's gone after this lady. I think partly because she's Algerian. If it was another white lady from another white country, I don't think there would have been the same kind of reaction. And everybody's saying, oh, she was disqualified a year ago for high XY chromosomes levels or testosterone levels. But is that what defines gender? Or what are you born with? And is there verification of that? And as far as I know, the IOC said, yeah, she's a woman and we've verified and she's good to go. So where's the controversy?
I think Miss Italian needs to find a new job.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get punched, and also I looked into it more, and apparently this lady Iman Khalif has lost previously in matches. She lost 4 times in her career to other women. So I don't know where the problem is, but definitely I'll give you this forecast. With what's happening with the gender identity, there will be actually real men who will just pretend to be women who will fight in the Olympics against other women. Not the other way around, of course, but men who will try to take advantage of this gender identity issues, pretend to be women, and they're gonna compete against women. I think that's already happened in some other sports. I'm not sure. I'm not hearing much about it this Olympics, but I know I heard about it in the past. So, yeah, welcome to gender wars.
I think that's the narrative that the U.S. has been pushing past 20 years.
It's not the U.S. It's the general liberal.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Because there are a lot of people, the conservatives, who are sometimes against it. But that's where the liberal, postmodern, philosophy goes. That you are who you think you are, who you want to be. But then why do we even have men and women Olympics? It should just be one Olympics, and everybody can play accordingly.
110%.
Go that way.
110%. I mean, we jumped straight into it. That was a
Yeah, man.
hot take. I think you might have upset some people with some of the things you said, but
We're here to say what we feel and what we think is correct. And if it's good, may Allah accept it. And if not, may Allah help us to come to the truth. That's where we're looking for the truth.
Taking that correct part, moving on to a different topic, something that's nothing trending. UK, they've been on the news a little bit too much recently.
UK is always on the news. Which one? They're losing the soccer, what was it, the finals? Did they get to the finals? They got to the finals, didn't they, in Euro, and then they lost again?
Sheikh keeps bashing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Non-stop.
bashing. I'm just saying, reality, UK, they lost, okay?
Up your game a little.
All
I'm
right.
talking about the casualty, 10 stabbings, 3 dead,
Oh,
Taylor
la hawla
Swift
wa quwwata illa
concert.
billah. Yeah, that's something not to joke about, to be honest. That's a tragedy. It's a terrible, horrible. I'll call it terrorism. Going into a concert and just stabbing babies. No sane human would be okay with that, regardless of your religion or whatever it may be. No sane human would undermine the tragedy and how severe it is. It's messed up.
For sure.
But what's more messed up? Can I tell you what's more messed up?
Go for it.
Is that the right-wing racists have already concluded they're the judge, the jury, and the executioners, and they've gone to the streets and they're trying to mess up and attack Muslims and immigrants, and they've destroyed a mosque. And they've already decided that this guy is Muslim and he did it because of Islam, and it's the religion of Islam to blame, and every Muslim is guilty.
Just to say, all these events occurred after the main event, the tragedy happened, but without any further information. Hell, we didn't even know the guy's name.
Yeah, he's 17-year-old, so legally his name couldn't be released, but because he was black, they said, okay, this guy must be Muslim.
Black, from Rwanda, right?
Yeah,
I believe
now
so.
they've gotten his identity. He's actually born in Wales.
Yeah.
So he's fully born in Wales. He's not an immigrant.
His parents
came from Rwanda. And he's not even Muslim. His name is Axel. I can't pronounce his last name.
Mogwana Rudakabana.
Yeah, I'm sure you butchered that. Yeah. So I didn't want to even say it. But his name is not even Muslim. And you know what's messed up?
What?
They're not releasing his religion.
Yeah.
They released his name, his identity, and they're not releasing his religion. You know why?
Why is that?
Because he's not Muslim. Because if he was Muslim, they would have said they're Muslim. You see, the media and the politicians here are to blame too. They're saying, oh, we got to stop this is wrong, blah, blah. Hello, for over 20 years, you've been painting any terror attack as, with the name Muslim. If it's a Muslim, it's terror attack. If it's not Muslim, it's not a terror attack. You've already brainwashed society to accept that anyone that does this is Muslim, and that it's Islam that's causing it, and it's their religion that pushes it. We have all types of people committing crimes all the time from all walks of life, but only the Muslim ones are terrorists, and only they are the ones to blame, not just them, but every single person with the same religion.
Yeah.
Right? We have Christians all the time doing it, and people from other faiths doing it, and atheists committing crimes, but we don't talk about all atheists being criminals or murderers or terrorists. Okay, so this has been going on for 20 years. So unfortunately, not surprised it's going on now. So media and politicians and whoever it is in those classes of the elites in society, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. So may God help us.
Yeah, I think it's good for the society though. The people fighting the people, they're not worrying about who's up top and who's making
Hold on,
decisions.
what are you talking about? It's good for society. People fighting people. If people fighting people will ruin society. The whole society, the whole civilization will get destroyed with this kind of stuff. Racism does not help any society to progress. It actually messes up progression and peace and security, which is what you need in society.
Or
So
where I was
racism
going,
messes all of that up.
I was going. People are distracted with the people, and they're not distracted with the politician. Distracted with the big decisions happening. Or
Yeah, I don't know if that's what's happening. I mean,
Yeah.
people have lost trust, if that's what you're talking about. The people have lost trust in leadership, in the politicians. People call out media now. They don't believe what they hear in the media. But it's still a
Yeah.
problem.
For sure. Moving forward, how do we promote peace and understanding in our communities after such events, so we don't have a tragedy after the tragedy, right? To replace.
Look, I mean, as Muslims, we got to make sure we don't like say things that are, oh, it's just the West, or it's just the white people, or what have you, because you see on the streets too a lot of people who are from the West, who are white people, who are on the side of peace and justice, who are on the side of tolerance, and who are on the side of not having this racism. We see a lot of the protests, even against Gaza and what's happened, not for Gaza, against what's happening and with what the Zionist state is doing, Israel. They're protesting against them, and a lot of them are white people, a lot of them are black people, a lot of them are not Muslim people. They're people from the West. So there are different people out there, and we shouldn't just blame everyone. Just like, don't make the same mistake that they blame all of us. We need to build bridges, understanding with such people, and strengthen our relationships, and make sure our youth understand things properly and they don't get antagonized.
Touching upon Gaza, I know this is a topic Sheikh's been wanting to talk about for a little while now. Even on the first episode, we didn't quite get to
I
it.
see how you're just like switching up the topics.
Keeping it
big
keeping
topics
it
here,
hot.
man. Just big hot topics all in one shot.
We have too many.
That's right.
Ra-
That's right.
At the moment, But just a summary on, there's been a lot of information on Palestine. Lots been happening. Could you just give your thoughts on the overall situation from the knowledge you have, and then I can go in dive into some more deep questions.
Yeah, this topic we need to keep talking about it, and it's
100%.
so sad that genocide has become normalized. It's still continuing. People are being killed and butchered, and the media is the one who's leading the narrative. And it's not being talked about as much. It's not as much in the news, and people have kind of almost accepted that, Israel's committing genocide. They're getting away with it. There's nothing we can do, and let's just kind of move on with our life. But we cannot move on with our life.
Yeah.
And if we just think it's just something normal, then it's going to continue, and it's continuing. But we need to raise our voices. We need to keep talking about it. We need to keep calling out hypocrisy and calling out people who call themselves humans and that they value and champion human rights, who are actually butchering all humans and all human rights. Right? So it's a travesty. What's happening now with Israel killing the top leader of Hamas, Ismail.
Not the co-host. That's
the different guy, right? Ismail Hania or Hania. This is just Israel wanting more war. This is Israel wanting there not to be peace. They want to kill the opportunity for peace, and they want to continue war and escalate war and make war with more of their neighbors. That's what they're after. They're after continuing to kind of distract people from the genocide they're committing, and they want to continue the genocide until they get rid of all Palestinians and mess things up. This is what's happening. If you want to ask me what's my opinion, this is the quick response.
For sure, and I agree with you completely on the constant reminders. I think that if something's on the back of the mind, we just forget about it. But the constant reminders, even on my feed, like on Instagram, on social media, on the news, articles, what the Muslim community is doing is really good, as it just reminds you of Gaza and reminds you to just feel the empathy
we
for
have
the
to
people.
keep. It has to be something that we keep bringing it up. We keep discussing, and wallah, it's been hard. It's been a hard year. Even trying to take a vacation, trying to go fishing, whatever. It's on our minds, and it's hard to really fully. It feels guilty to enjoy life when other human beings their life is being taken away.
Yeah.
Right? They have no life, and but subhanallah, again, when you see the people on the media, on the news, and the Palestinians mourning their deaths, wallahi, they look happier than us. That contentment in their heart and that iman, that is just amazing. That level of faith where they're so strong despite what's going on. That we complain about the little thing that happens,
The bugs.
the little bugs, and the little bit of relationship issues, or whatever little things happen here and there. I didn't get the mark I wanted. I didn't get into the program I wanted, or whatever it is, and we make it like this is the end of our life. And subhanallah, people have seen the end of their family's life and relatives' life and their children's and parents' life, and they're more content than us.
Yeah.
Because what's here and what's here.
100%.
Now, having said that, doesn't mean we're okay with it. Oh, they're happy, then khalas. No. It's an obligation on us as humans and as Muslims to help and to try to do something. And I know it seems like there's not much we could do.
I know there's a lot of young adults, teenagers, young adults who want to do something, who just haven't had the opportunity, or it's not an easy thing to do, go out of your way. So what are some things you think us teenagers, young adults can do to, make a difference in our community, or even on a bigger level, nationwide, globally?
Well, this has been the question that we need to go to. Look, as an individual, when you look, how can I make a difference? You might get like hopeless. Like, what can I do? I'm just one guy. I'm one person. I'm one girl. What can I do?
Yeah.
And this is exactly how people in power want you to think, that you're hopeless, you're useless, there's no hope for you, you cannot do anything. And if you just think by yourself, then it's hard to do something alone, just by ourselves.
Yeah.
What we have to do, any change that needs to be made, anything especially big, then you need to work with others. You need to work in a group, a movement, a jama'ah. And so you need to look who are the groups that are working on change, and we're trying to work with them. If you don't like what people are doing, work on try to start up your own organization. If you think you're going to change this overnight, it's not going to change overnight. So the protests and the boycotts and stuff, we see, subhanAllah, it has made some difference, but it hasn't stopped. Doesn't mean we don't do it anymore. No, we got to do it, and we got to do it more. But we got to look through long-term change, long-term solutions.
Yeah.
And the long-term solutions will take a long time. It'll take a generation.
Yeah.
The Prophet ﷺ wanted to change, polyatheism in Arabia, and change how society run their affairs, and to make it based on God's laws and orders. It took him a long time.
Yeah.
It took him 13 years, and he didn't do it by himself. He had a jama'ah
That he built.
a group of people that he built, that he strengthened, that they had the vision and the mission and the goal, and they worked towards taking that and making that until they were able to establish a state that was independent, that had a military, that they were able to use that to grow themselves, and to then make a change.
Power, money, influence.
All of that. You got to see how world works. Because, for us, we talk about trusting Allah. Yes, we have to trust Allah, but Allah also wants us to do our work. Wants us to move. Wants us to
Allah
take the steps.
doesn't give us anything until we, as you mentioned, take the steps towards it or work towards it, right? We're not going to make $1 million overnight. We're not going to, He's not going to give us money.
Unless you win the lottery, which is haram.
But we have to get a job, work towards for that money, right? So that analogy can be moved towards to many things in life, not just your job, going jama'ah, having protests, work in unity, or work towards a goal to really make a change.
And just like overnight you cannot get $1 million, and just making dua by itself will not get you $1 million. You need to make the dua, trust Allah, and then you need to move, have that dream of making $1 million, and see what you can do, what are the steps necessary to making $1 million. And anything you want to make in life, including getting victory or helping Palestine, you got to see what the world is, what the power dynamics are, where is the cause and effect, where are states, where are what it takes, right? And then it's a long process to see what are the cause and effect, and then work towards that. how did the Zionists build Israel?
Through, correct me if I'm wrong, but through change, and it was a drama or of their own.
Well,
But
yeah,
they
it was a
came in,
movement
yeah,
started by one dude, Theodore Herzl, who had this vision. He galvanized people and galvanized people around him,
Yeah.
sold them on his mission, on his vision, on his beliefs, right? And then started the Zionist movement, which then they took cause and effect from a worldly perspective and politics and money and what have you, and got Britain basically to sell them Palestine.
yeah,
It, Theodore Herzl, in his book, he says his vision or mission is to make this happen within 50 years. He died before Israel was officially declared a state. But do you know how long it took from the time he wrote that book?
no, but I'd assume in the time frame.
Yeah, it took 52 years.
And
So he knew it would take a long time. And he took the cause and effect towards that. Right? Muslims, if we want Palestine back, we want our ummah back, we want the Muslim countries to be actually ruled by Islam, not by hypocrites or by agents who are ruled over us and we have no control over, then we need to work and have a 50-year vision, right?
yeah, Allah
And
says in the Quran
to
that
take that.
anything is possible within 40 years, right?
I mean,
And
indirectly.
yeah.
The one story that I usually tell is the people of Israel, the original people of Israel with Musa. They refused to move. They refused to take cause and effect and follow their prophet to go into Jerusalem and take it as their nation. God punished them by keeping them lost in the desert for 40 years. Why 40 years? Some scholars say that's the time it takes to change a generation, to bring in a new generation that is ready. And so when we don't move, you can also take this as a lesson. When we don't move as an ummah, the victory will be delayed. When we move, cause and effect, strengthen ourselves, strengthen our communities, become more financially strong, dunya-wise strong, of course, iman-wise strong, because you needed that too, of course. We're not going to just go into one or the other. Sometimes people just want to work on their salah and iman and they forget about the world. Some people want to just become millionaires and forget about their iman and salah. No, you got to have both and strengthen yourself both and have a vision, see what is needed to get to there, and have other like-minded people with you who are working for that
For sure.
and changing the public opinion towards that.
For sure. On the topic of power, wealth, money, I want to talk about in this episode, what is money to a Muslim and why is it important for a Muslim to actually be wealthy?
Look, as Muslims, Allah allowed us to make money and did not restrict us from how much money we should make. In fact, Allah says to go and seek from Allah's blessings. What Allah wants us to do is not make money our ultimate end. Money is a means. Our end is akhirah, is Jannah. But you can get to Jannah being rich or get to Jannah being poor. But you're not supposed to purposefully be poor. But some people, it just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not bless or does not give wealth to. It is their test that they're being tested with. Others, Allah blessed with. And so we should be striving to make as much as we can for the sake of what?
Sake of Allah.
For the sake of Allah. What does that mean for the sake of Allah?
Earn, have a good heart when you earn and do good with your money. I think.
So first thing is you have to earn your money in halal. That's
Yeah.
the most important thing. You cannot cheat people, scam people, lie to people, get involved in usury and other haram means to make money. That's the first thing. Allah's not gonna ask you how much money did you make.
Yeah.
He's gonna ask you how did you make the money.
I might have to put a stop to my pharmaceutical business if you
All
know
right.
what I mean.
And then Allah's gonna ask you how did you use your money. That's the second question.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the hadith says. You'll be asked, how did you make your money and how did you use your money? Right? And so using the money now for the sake of Allah means building the communities, means helping people around us, means giving it fi sabilillah. And to be honest, more I get involved in da'wah, the more I realize how much resources are important.
Yeah.
And that's why Allah in the Quran talks about struggling for His sake, first with wealth. Jahidu fi sabilillahi bi amwalikum wa anfusikum. So many verses talking about struggling for the sake of Allah with our wealth and then with ourselves. So wealth is very important. As a community, we should try to be wealthy so we can use that wealth for the sake of Allah to make change in society, make difference in society, to help those less fortunate, and to use it also to spread the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the Prophet, how the Prophet did it.
Inshallah. For those who are less unfortunate and with money, how do you stay away, or this could be taken in any way, how do you stay away from haram jealousy? And what's the difference between haram jealousy and then there's halal jealousy? I know we talked about that.
Oh, you're talking about people who are not, who don't have money
Yeah.
and they want money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for them, it's okay to seek Allah, and ask Allah for wealth. But if they look at Saif here and they say, oh, yeah, Allah, I want to be rich like this guy.
Inshallah
Right?
soon.
That's okay. That's not a haram jealousy because they want you to still be rich. They're like, yeah, Saif is rich. Ya Allah, make me rich like him. It's still not recommended to seek what other people have in this way, because you should be content. You should ask Allah from His grace to give you whatever Allah wants to give you, and ask for whatever you want, but don't compare yourself to people. So it's not haram, but it's not the best to do that. You could do that for if I want to be like Saif, and so I can give money fi sabilillah, or that I want to have a beautiful voice so I can recite,
Yeah.
right? Or I have a lot of knowledge like so and so I can make a difference.
Yeah.
The jealousy that is absolutely haram and despicable is when you want something and you don't want that person to have it. Meaning, I wish Saif wasn't rich. I was the one who was rich.
Yeah.
That's haram. That's really bad jealousy. I wish I was as strong as Muhammad, and Muhammad wasn't so strong. I wish I had a beautiful house like Sister Fatima, and Sister Fatima didn't have such a house. That's where you want to be in their place, and you want them to be in a lower place. This is arrogance. This is subhanallah, a terrible, terrible jealousy, which is completely haram. We should stay away completely from.
Yeah. You talked about being content, and I think that's how you stay away from haram jealousy. But how do you, this is the last question we're going to end off with, how do you be content in life?
Contentment, the Prophet says, kanzun la yufna. It's a treasure that never perishes. Really, contentment is to be pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. To look at the positive things in life. To look at what you have going for you. The blessings that you have. We all are blessed with so many things. Where we lose contentment is when we focus on what we don't have.
Yeah.
Where we focus on our weaknesses.
Comparison.
Where we focus on, what ideally, and we compare ourselves to other else, right? But contentment is to really be looking at the positives in your life, seeing the blessings you have in your life, and being, patient.
How I started, just a personal experience that I've had, is, I've been jealous of people in the past, like, oh yeah, he has a really nice car, he has making a lot more money than me. But I've thought about it in the way that if Allah has blessed me with it, that's what Allah will for me, and that's what's good for me. If Allah would have, put me in His place, or he didn't give it to me because it was really bad for me.
Yeah, and
that's the way I've thought about it.
beautiful. That's a beautiful way to look at it, and that's really what believe in qada and qadar entails. Believe in the predestiny, that Allah destined this for me. This is the best for me. If I might think I want to be rich, but maybe if I'm rich, I won't have the heart that I have today. That I might be indulged into sin. Maybe I won't be as into the deen.
Allah's
Right?
kept away from
So
you
Allah
for a
subhanahu wa
reason.
ta'ala has given you for a reason, and you need to work on what Allah has given you, thank Him for, and Allah will give you more when you are thankful for what Allah has given you.
Inshallah.
لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, Allah says.
Inshallah. You're also a lot more peaceful, and you're, again, to the point, content.
Exactly. So may Allah make us content.
Ameen.
And being content, by the way, doesn't mean being okay with the status quo and not striving. Being content is saying Alhamdulillah, but Allah told me to still strive to get more, to become stronger, to become better. So make sure contentment doesn't mean be lazy. All right,
100%.
don't get that
Content and work hard.
Work hard. I want to see, inshallah, Saif become a millionaire, inshallah.
Inshallah.
He's going to come on the podcast. We're going to have a lot better podcast because he's going to, inshallah, fund it through his millions, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right.
Oh, that's a wrap.
All right, put up. Jazakum khairan. Thank you. That was really deep stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully people benefited from it. You put me on my toes with all those deep questions. That's why sometimes people call me one thing or another because of my takes. But hey, we're trying to make the takes that we feel
Speak
are
our mind.
correct. Exactly. And that's what the show is all about.
Right there.
All right.
Appreciate you guys watching. Tune in for the next episode.
All right. Take care, guys.
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And that's a wrap.
I hope everyone enjoyed the Muslim Principle podcast today. We got more, but if you want for us to discuss more, what should they do if they want certain
Comment
topics?
down below, different questions, different topics, you want us to talk about, or any
We'll roll it in, guys. So let's hear what you want to talk about.
for the people.
All right. For the youth and the
Okay.
people. All right. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.